Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to completely shatter your expectations about what artificial intelligence can actually remember and do. I mean, if you've been using AI, you already know the drill, right? It's brilliant, sure, but it basically has absolute amnesia. You're constantly having to act as its memory bank. But today, we're diving headfirst into the era of compounding autonomous agents. We're talking about systems that don't just act, but actually learn, remember, and get better, all on their own. Imagine just setting up a piece of software, walking away, and coming back later to find that it didn't just fail a task, it actually learned from that failure. We recently saw a demonstration where a trading bot lost its very first trade, but instead of just failing again or waiting around for a human programmer to bail it out, it immediately diagnosed its own mistake. It wrote itself a little note explaining exactly why it lost, and then it repaired its own strategy. All of this happened before the market even closed, and no human touched it.
This is the stark difference between what we use right now and where we're rapidly heading. Today, most of the world relies on static AI. And the problem with static AI is that it forgets immediately. It literally has no idea if that email it just drafted for you got a reply or went straight to the spam folder. Because of that amnesia, you, the human, are the improvement loop. You have to remember what worked, tweak the prompt, and try again. Compounding AI flips that entire script. It grades itself, evaluates its own success, and drives its own autonomous improvement.
So how does this actually work in practice? Well, it builds a continuous improvement loop using 4 super clear steps. First, you set a plain English goal. Keep it simple. Second, the agent attaches a hard metric to that goal, and an independent evaluator actually grades every single run. Third, if it fails or even just underperforms, it writes a post-mortem analyzing exactly what went wrong. And finally, step 4, it uses that deep analysis to improve and retrain its own model. Improvement just becomes a compounding number.
Okay, let's run through our agenda for today's explainer. We just covered the AI improvement loop, and next we'll do a rapid-fire showcase across a sales pipeline, a self-correcting trading agent, honest content optimization, and autonomous bug fixing. Finally, we'll wrap up by comparing compounding versus static AI. So if one of these isn't your niche, I guarantee the next one will be. Section 1. Transforming the sales pipeline.
Let's look at a sales agent that actively reads a company's Notion CRM, reviews all the leads, and then independently pulls live conversion outcomes straight from a Slack channel where the sales team posts how their demos went. The jump in precision here is just wild. Across over 1,000 leads, its precision started at a pretty rough 22% on run 1. But by run 3, that precision skyrocketed to 79%. That's a massive 254% improvement, and it crunched all those numbers and leveled itself up at 4 a.m. while the entire human sales team was fast asleep.
So how did it actually pull that off? It didn't just get lucky or guess better. It acted like a detective analyzing its own brain. During its post-mortem, the agent diagnosed that its secondary signals basically had zero predictive power, so it ruthlessly deleted them from its model. It even caught a bug in its own system where fuzzy name matching was handing out totally unearned perfect scores to certain companies. It found the bug, patched it, and literally made itself smarter for the next day.
Moving right along to our next section, the self-correcting trading agent.
Let's revisit that incredible trading agent we talked about earlier. To map out its daily routine, this bot wakes up at 6:30 a.m. every weekday and researches the real market. It pulls in treasury yields, analyzes unusual options flow, checks live sources like Reuters. It'll only execute a trade if it's at least 60% confident. Fast forward to 4:30 p.m., it closes its day trades, grades its own performance, writes a post-mortem, and rewrites its entire playbook for tomorrow. And just a quick reminder, since it's wired to a paper account, it's using fake money, but it's reacting to 100% real live market data. Oh, and we're just explaining the tech here, definitely not financial advice.
Now get this, on run 1, it completely failed. It had a 0% win rate in the morning. Ouch. But after diagnosing that its win rate was dragging down its score, it adjusted its strategy midday. By the afternoon, it closed 5 profitable positions to end the day at a 66.7% win rate. It wrote a post-mortem on its own failure and acted on it the exact same day. Honestly, that's something most human managers take an entire quarter to figure out.
Next step, honest content optimization.
This one is fascinating for anyone in the digital media space. We're talking about an agent that tests and designs YouTube thumbnails directly through the API. Before the bot even lifts a finger to build anything, it asks some really smart setup questions, things like confirming channel access or checking if it should wait for human approval versus just auto-publishing. Once it gets the green light, it runs twice a day, analyzing the last 14 days of videos. It designs fresh thumbnails for the underperformers and uploads them. But the coolest part? It keeps a ranked list of its own design rules and ruthlessly retires any visual rule that wins less than 30% of its tests. It is constantly, autonomously curating its own creative instincts.
Now, you might hear about a view-through rate metric that stayed completely flat, 51 to 51, after 3 runs, and wonder why is a lack of improvement impressive? Well, because it shows the agent's honest refusal to just call a winner before it actually gathers enough data. The bot intrinsically understands that every thumbnail swap needs 1 to 3 days of live exposure before the data actually means anything. It flat out refuses to fake a win. You know, definitely remember that the next time someone tries to pitch you a software demo where the numbers just magically go up instantly.
Section 4. Autonomous Bug Fixing.
For our final demo, we're looking at an autonomous bug-fixing agent wired straight into Jira and GitHub, actively hunting for broken code to fix. Now, I know what you're thinking. Giving an AI the keys to your codebase sounds absolutely terrifying, and that is exactly why this AI operates with some incredibly strict guardrails. It will never merge to production. It will never close a ticket on its own. It only merges to the testing environment if the code linter and the build both pass perfectly. Ultimately, a real human being still has to sign off on every single ticket. The AI does all the heavy lifting, but humans keep their hands firmly on the steering wheel.
Let's break down a specific fix. In one run, there was this bug where an interview score was maxing out at 10 instead of 100. The agent grabbed this high-priority ticket, cloned the repository, and successfully traced the bug back to the exact commit, where a single line of code wrongly clamped the number at the wrong bound. And it didn't just rewrite the whole file lazily, it wrote the absolute smallest, safest possible fix, passed the build, and then left a comment telling the human reviewers exactly how to verify it.
After 3 runs of this bug-fixing bot, the results were flawless. We're talking 100% merge success and 100% first attempt fixes. It is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, super cleanly and efficiently, all while leaving a perfect audit trail for the engineering team.
Okay, final section, compounding versus static AI. Let's zoom out for a second.
Because beyond just these 4 cool demos, this whole concept represents the exact same improvement mechanism that a true general intelligence would need, and it's running right now today. Picture 2 competing businesses. One is running static AI, relying on humans to constantly update prompts. The other is running compounding AI that learns and tweaks itself every single night. In month 1, sure, they might look pretty identical, but by month 6, the performance gap becomes absolutely embarrassing. The compounding business is running iterations and learning from microscopic data points 24/7, while the static business is still sitting there trying to figure out why their old prompt suddenly stopped working.
And you want to know what's really crazy? The barrier to entry to actually get this compounding gap working for you is surprisingly low. These specific autonomous agents, they're called Autobots, live inside Chat LLM, which is created by Abacus AI. It's incredibly accessible. It's just $7 for your first month and $10 a month after that. And that single subscription gets you access to literally every major frontier AI model available right now.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final practical thought. We all have those tedious, recurring duties that just eat up our time and drain our energy, right? Well, knowing that you can now deploy an agent that not only does the work, but continuously grades and improves its own performance, what recurring task that annoys you the absolute most are you going to point this self-improving AI at first?